continued to get reaction on that breaking news. Ukraine's leader there, Volodymyr Zelensky, denying Moscow's allegations that Kyiv and Ukraine attacked the Kremlin in an attempt to assassinate President Vladimir Putin. In the last hour, the U.S. also weighing in on Russia's claims.
When it comes to Ukraine, which is under daily assault, and not just its incredibly courageous military forces, but its citizens, its men, women, and children being assaulted on a daily basis by this Russian aggression, being bombed out of their homes, their apartments, and their streets, children killed, families torn apart. Well, we leave it to Ukraine to decide how it's going to defend itself and how it's going to try to get back the territory that's been seized from it illegally by Russia over the past 14 months and going back to 2014, back to then.
All right, and now to some of that latest video. This is footage posted to the Russian social media purporting to show a drone exploding over the Kremlin. This video has not been authenticated by any Western authorities. Russia says that Putin was not in the Kremlin during the alleged attempted attack. A spokesperson for President Zelensky said this about Russia's claims: it is a trick to be expected from our opponents. And you heard from Zelensky himself saying, "We do not attack Moscow. We do not attack Putin." Joining us now is Andrei Dobriansky. He's the Director of Communications and Media for the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America. Right to be skeptical of Putin's claims at this point?
100%. There's a lot of context to this. First, everybody can look at that video and zoom themselves out to see what's at the periphery, and that is the incredible amount of decorations around the Red Square for next week, which is their big 4th of July type celebration, May 9th. Many of these parades across all of Russia have been canceled. We just heard a report over the last 2 days that the Kremlin is trying to figure out ways of downplaying how would they sell a defeat in Ukraine to its public. And one of the things they need to explain is, why are all these military parades being canceled across the country? One logical reason for them is to say that it's not safe because the Ukrainians are attacking. So it's not, obviously, we all know that Putin wasn't there. We know that this video was released by the Kremlin, who doesn't release videos they don't want. They clearly didn't release the video of the assassination of Boris Nemtsov right at that wall just a few years ago. So they want the Russian publics to see this, and this will be the excuse that they will give officially why their parades have been canceled across the country and why only one world leader is visiting on May 9th, visiting Putin on May 9th, because they will say that the Ukrainians are threatening them.
And what do you make of the response from Volodymyr Zelensky? Smart and strategic?
The thing about Ukraine's response is they have been very quick. So Ukraine isn't waiting for the next, day to take time. President Zelensky is going to make a comment on this ASAP. They're not going to let this fester. And frankly, over the next couple of days, I'm sure we'll be on to the next, scandal online. For Ukraine and for Russia, it's going to be a little bit difficult in both Europe and the United States to get international attention, given the events in England this weekend. This is, if you're a news producer in Russia and you get your story out first, they got it in before all the hype happens at the coronation. And then they will try to get more attention next week, as, again, their parade will be a failure this year. It won't be the message that they wanted to send.
And it also makes you wonder what's next. What might we see next from the Kremlin?
100%. We'll probably see something horrific. The great thing about, you playing that clip of Anthony Blinken is that he was doing an event specifically for this World Press Freedom Day. And what we've seen time and again is Russia doing something beyond the pale, whether it's the capture of Evan Gershkovich. There might be somebody else like that, a Wall Street Journal reporter, an American citizen. But, they've been doing this throughout this entire conflict. They've been doing this across other conflicts as well. As the Georgian Free People reminded me this morning that Nika Gvaramia, who is the news producer for a station called M Tavari in Georgia, he has been imprisoned since 2020. He was convicted in 2022, and these are people who don't have the luxury, like Evan Gershkovich, of having an American passport, and likely is tortured repeatedly. So what you'd likely see happening in occupied areas of Ukraine is more people being deported, as we heard in Kherson, as the the Ukrainian army comes to liberate them, more people deported, and Lord knows what happens to those people because we do not get enough international attention on the prison conditions within Russia.
Finally, is this a sign of desperation, yet another from Russia at this point in battle?
Oh, 100%. Again, Russia did not have an explanation of why all these military parades have been canceled. This is their 4th of July. Putin restarted these large military parades as Stalin had, as Kim Jong-un has, to not be too crude, but it's a bunch of, compensating with their large symbols paraded through the square of the Red Square. And they had no excuse for the public, which they had ramped up for 20 years of Putin's rule about why this day needs to happen and why we need to be super nationalistic on this day. And the world's attention is on Moscow and the big parade there. But across all of Russia, across any other town and city, all parades have been canceled. And Russia needs to justify this to the people. How can they say that they are in control of the situation in Ukraine if they can't even organize parades across their countryside?
We'll leave it there. Andrei Dobriansky, Director of Communications and Media for the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America. As always, thank you.
Thank you.
Caution